Welcome back to my channel, brothers and sisters. I'm your host, MODISE The High King. I know it's been a minute, but I thought I would take a little bit of a break there. As some of y'all noticed, it would seem as though I am in the shadows. But of course, it makes perfect sense considering some of the topics I cover on my channel. As such, today's clip, brothers and sisters, is a powerful speech reflective of the Pan-African youth, the consciousness of the young African today on the continent, in the diaspora. We're not playing games anymore, family. We're sending a message to the West, the French, the US, British, all of them. If you are not melanated and of the motherland, you have no business here. And the French, of course, are losing their minds and they're playing games, refusing to accept the new reality that the African is done having our resources exploited by outsiders. We're finished having these people come at you and pick our heads of state for us. We're sick and tired of puppets. We're sick and tired of the neo-colonial effort to maintain an iron grip on our blessings so that they can have it. These are not meant for them. Our mineral wealth deposits are meant for us. And in the new era, in the new African family, we will develop, make no mistake. And we will benefit all the African peoples on the continent, in the diaspora, as our civil rights leaders prophesied. Thus, let us begin with today's video. And a comeback, I would say.
This is one of the powerful speech of Osman Sonko to France.
On what grounds does France believe it can continue to impose leaders on us and make choices on our behalf? This must come to an end. And the emerging Africa, the African youth, the African elites, and the African diaspora all stand united in saying no, it cannot continue any longer. France's hypocrisy is evident and pervasive in daily life. Let's examine the cases of Mali and Chad as prime examples of this hypocrisy. In Chad, where the constitutional process has been interrupted, France applauded and its president visited to officially consecrate the new king's coronation ceremony. In Mali, where it is not the constitutional process that has been interrupted, but the transition process, France has condemned and even packed up its things to say that it is leaving Mali. That's hypocrisy. It's the double standard. It is the double language that France employs in its dealings with Africa. During our questioning of Mr. Jean-Yves Le Drian regarding the situation in Ivory Coast and France's decision to allow a third term, he provided a clear explanation. He stated that while he accepted the third term for Ouattara, he refuses it for Belarus. He emphasized that France has condemned the situation in Belarus and has actively encouraged the European Union to do the same. Le Drian explains that in Belarus, millions protested, unlike Ivory Coast, where there were no mass demonstrations on the streets. This is how France deals with African issues. Personally, we expect absolutely nothing from France. We desire her to cease meddling in our matters so that the people of Senegal can exercise their freedom of choice rather than being influenced by France's selection of a candidate using the tactics we are aware of.
And it's wild, family, because those are the basic principles of epigenetic memory. If you live life a certain way long enough, eventually it will reflect in your DNA. As such, current generations of African peoples on the continent in the diaspora are living with ailments and diseases due to how the slave masters and colonial masters forced our ancestors to live. The foods we ate, how we conducted ourselves, being beholden to them all day, every day, serving massa, has left the current generation of African peoples in a condition. As such, we work and work and work to perfect ourselves, to better ourselves, to rehabilitate ourselves from our colonial experience. But the colonial master refuses to change. Oh no, it's anti-whiteness, the myth of anti-whiteness. Because they refuse to confront themselves honestly and face who they've become in the past 400 years. And as such, the French generation, the current French generation, refuses to change. Macron and the likes, living descendants of the colonial masters, and it's in their DNA. It's deeply ingrained in their DNA to be colonial imperialists and dictate to their colonies, the Francophone nations like Mali, Burkina Faso, Senegal, Niger.
We begin by targeting individuals, adorning them with the Legion of Honor or a similar knightly rank, enlisting them in Masonic lodges, and informing them to prepare themselves as they will be next in line. Even the hypothesis that Macky Sall may not succeed, we know who is being prepared by France. This must come to an end. It will not occur in this manner any longer. Let's be...
And they won't allow an African country to exist if they can't control it. Look what's going on in Haiti now. Haiti has been paying the price since they emancipated themselves. The idea that an African country will be free, the slave master, lords, they will interfere and destabilize if they can.
Clear. We have absolutely nothing against the French people. In France, both political and citizen voices are rising to hold and express the same discourse as the one I am currently presenting to you. For example, the deputies, such as Mrs. Frédérique Dumas, who regularly speaks on the platform of the Assembly, who regularly writes to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, since she is a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, to raise this unfair behavior of France towards Africa, hold the same speech as us. The same Mr. Jean-Luc Mélenchon, Jean-Paul Lecoq, André Chassaigne, all deputies, hold the same discourse as us, and hundreds of other voices. The NGOs, like other non-profit organizations, are doing remarkable work in the same direction. We strongly urge France to listen to the voices that speak to it about our plan for a more collaborative, fairer, and sustainable partnership between Africa and France.
Personally, I'm not interested in a relationship with these European countries because, again, we have everything that they need. We know the crimes they've committed to get these things, and we as Africans, to emancipate ourselves from the conditions they've placed us in, family must do everything in our power to develop. And it includes cutting our colonizers off. We can't share with them while we continue to struggle. They're parasites. They've eaten too much.
It is crucial that we work together towards a future that is equitable, just, and environmentally conscious. If she listens, I believe we'll have beautiful days ahead in our collaboration together.
That's if she listens.
If he doesn't know how to cut it, thinking he can continue to function like in the time of our grandfathers, this African youth no longer accepts it.
We're done
France
with that.
must make preparations for a definitive break and completely withdraw from Africa. Africa belongs to Africans, not France.
Africa for Afros, family. Make no mistake. The current generation is putting our foot down and we're sending a message. Enough is enough.
She belongs to no one else. Neither China, nor the United
Yes,
States,
this is
nor anyone else.
economic liberation. I see the waves of economic liberation in the continent of Africa. So the young people are tired with this poverty, so they want development, and they know very well that colonialism is the thing that undermine our development. So this time around, we need total independence, and that is what the
Absolute
young
independence
people of Africa want. So this is one of the perfect and powerful speech from Osman Sonko, and this made him not to be in the part of election. So he's very, very straight. He told France the truth that this time around we need to be free.
And family, it makes no sense to the degree that we as African peoples continue to be at the mercy of these tiny little European countries. Think about it. Their GDP is literally sustained by the resources they extract from us. The gold that they have, they took from us. That's why I don't consider the British economy, the French economy, or any of these economies legitimate economies. They are false economies based on a lie and colonial extraction. And if we stay silent and do nothing, it will continue for generations to come. And that's part of my personal struggle. There's been a story I've been wanting to share of what inspires me the most in regards to all of these things. But again, what is the point if you are to be shadow banned and no one will see your video. What is the point in the end? So I hope that eventually at some point I'll be able to grow my subscription base so that as many of y'all get to see my videos as possible. And I will just keep posting as the years go on, and I will not abandon this channel because we're in it for the long haul, family. So at some point, let me know in the comments below if you want to see my personal story, and I will share. Because I visited my place I grew up recently, and I recorded some clips, and I would love to share that story, family. But otherwise, let me know what you think of the video in the comments below, what you think of the speech, the rise of the African youth. And we're being gentle. This is a gentle warning that if these Western countries don't cease and desist, we will force them as the African youth, as is our right. As is our right under the UN Charter. We are entitled to defend ourselves by any means necessary, to emancipate ourselves and develop ourselves. If that costs the West something, that's a bed that they made and they have to lie in it. I'll see you in the next one. I'm your host, MODISE The High King.